Hey, it's JD. So today, just a quick little video. As you have seen, I have the Aluminess rack and ladder on my VanDOit van. And the next thing that was of interest to me was to look at if the situation arises where I need to put some bicycles outside of my van, how do I do that? What does it look like? And so with Jared's advice, I purchased the Kuat Pivot and the Kuat Hi-Lo adapter. And actually the Hi-Lo is really key element because it does help improve the departure angle. But depending on how much hardcore stuff you do, you may or may not need it, right? So for me, normally I don't really want to have my bikes outside, but there could be situations in June, if my trip does go, I will carry my bike rack so that during a running relay I can put the bike outside and we can have space inside for the people of the relay. So anyway, so this is just about how does the bike rack fit with the Pivot and the Hi-Lo and the Aluminess ladder, and I also put a Trasharoo trash bag on my spare tire. So anyway, here we go. We'll take a look at the setup. So you can see there, you got the bike rack, the Aluminess ladder, and I got 2 bikes on there just for, you know, just to have them on there. And then, yeah, my pins are not in there correctly and other stuff like that, but it's just a setup. I'm not driving anywhere. So this is just the lock for this pin and the tool. So there's the Hi-Lo. The Hi-Lo actually has 2 positions. One goes in deeper, and so I'm in the deepest of the 2 positions, which is nice because it helps clear up a little bit of a little bit better clearance. Okay, so let's check this out. I'm going to go ahead and pivot out the pivot. Now there is 2 positions here. There's this one that locks in place, and then there's one more. But if you watch the way the tire moves here, it actually is better to put it there because you got a little more space. So opening the door is the big question, and this bag is empty, but you can imagine if it was full, I kind of run into the wheels pretty quick. I can't even get the door open. So this is an argument for a passenger side pivot, I suppose. The reason I got the driver's side is so that if I'm in camp or whatever, then I can still open this door and not have to worry about walking around the bike as well. The bike rack. That's why I got this. This now, you know, hey, consider. So of course you can drop your rack a little, and this does allow you to open the door more. If the bag was full, that would be about it. My bag is empty, or maybe you empty the bag, but I can't quite latch it. If I try to latch it, it pushes on the bikes. So there's a question there about whether I can move this thing out or not, and I'll play with that. But now this is okay if you don't have wind or something or whatever. But there it is. That's as far as, with the bikes on, that's as far open as you can get. So real quick, I still have the Hi-Lo in to its deepest position. I've taken the bikes off the rack. I'm going to pivot it out and see how far the door will open. That's the first position. That's the second position. We're going to check the first position first. I don't think it's going to make a difference. We'll see the ladder clears there. So it just comes in contact with the bike rack, and I just felt the door kind of latching. So that's basically latched. But let's go ahead and push that out of the way for a second. Go ahead and drop this. And then, well, let's just drop it and see how that fits. I think it's going to be the same. Didn't really move. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, so just catches when it hits the door, or hits the bike rack. So what if I move that out? Now that's going to be okay. Plenty of clearance there. Plenty of clearance there without the bikes on. But you can see how far over the where the tire is, the bike tire would be. And now here I'm just moving this. Maybe you'll hear it click. There, it just clicked. So it's not a lot of pressure right here, but it would probably leave a mark eventually. Okay, so next we'll take a look at something else. So now I have moved the Kuat Pivot. See there, I've moved it to its outermost position. Hangs out a fair bit more, and of course that reduces your departure angle more than it did before by, I don't know, what is that, 3 inches or something? I mean this way, right? So the difference between the 2 pin slots is, I don't know, roughly 3 inches. Again, I don't have it fully latched in here, so just forgive that. It's just for demonstration purposes. Since I have the bikes off, I figure I will show you first with the bikes off, and then put the bikes back on. Now, of course, you can see it's pushed out further, so if you have extra wide handlebars or something, that could be could play a part into things. All right. First position. Kind of same situation, it just touches a different place on the bike rack. We're going to see the same thing here. I mean, it's there, it's latched, kind of latched into place, but you have contact there. So open that up. Same, it's the same situation. Same amount of, roughly the same appearance there. So without the bikes, doesn't seem to make much difference. What about with the bikes? Kind of the same situation we're running into here with it at the first position. Kind of jams up against there. Without the trash bag, it would be the tire jamming up against there. Maybe you get another inch, but nowhere near opening the door. Second position, no real difference here either. I mean, maybe even worse. Yeah, I think it's worse now because you can see the tire is actually contacting the tire. Maybe that was the case before, but definitely no better. So now we'll back it up here and we'll drop this. Well, it's a little bit better, but it's still about the same position that it was before. It doesn't really, it's not actually It's not actually at the catch here, and if I push it too much, you can see it's really starting to deflect that wheel. Probably not the end of the world, but I don't need to mess with my bike that way. But it's enough where if I have to, I can get in here and pull out the slide, whatever I need to do. See if I can do it without knocking my box off there. Anyway, so there it is. The Kuat Hi-Lo, the Kuat Pivot, driver side pivot, and the Kuat Sherpa bike rack, and how it fits on my VanDOit van Galahad.